I was watching Rather tape today actually against Texas Tech, and he actually had pretty good. McPherson had a pretty good game in that game. So. Welcome to our episode of Boom or Bust, the draft show. Max Chadwick, PJ Clark, Tate Sigworth, and Nick Merriam finishing up our draft grades with the NFC now, going through every NFC team and assigning our grades like we did with the AFC teams. Of course, follow our Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Boom or Bust Draft. Hit the merch store so you can get stuff like this sweatshirt right here. Yeah, and do that as well. And please leave comments below. We love interacting with you guys. We miss you guys. So please let us know what you think about your team's draft, and please continue supporting us because support for us is brought to you by that right there, Manscaped. I have a breaking news. This important PSA is brought to you by Manscaped.com. This is your pubic service announcement and the news you've all been waiting for.
You can't put a price on that writing.
That was excellent. That's excellent writing right there. The Manscaped engineering team has confirmed that they have successfully created the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, which is now available for purchase in the USA and Canada. This new trimmer was just released only moments ago, and we were one of the first to get our hands on it and share the news. So please join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you, 20% off and free worldwide shipping. So every one of our fans who's overseas, Yoki, Duncan, anyone, you can get this worldwide with the code BOOMERBUST. That's BOOMERBUST, all caps, no spaces, at manscaped.com. Get 20% off your purchase and free shipping with the code BOOMERBUST at manscaped.com. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. So we're going to do it like we did the AFC video. We're going to go team by team. One of us talks about one team through each division, starting in the NFC North with the Chicago Bears. PJ, what do you got for them?
A plus. A plus.
A plus plus.
A plus 10,000. Congratulations, Pace and Nagy. You did it. I don't know what you did, and you're probably still getting fired anyway, but you left a good foundation for whoever's next. Justin Fields, best pick of the whole draft. Congrats. Good job, guys. Tevin Jenkins making it to 39. I don't think anybody really saw that coming with all of the late hype he got. He had some bad medicals. It was a hip thing, but if he's healthy, they felt confident enough. They cut two guys on their offensive line this week, so they clearly think Tevin Jenkins is ready to play. They clearly think Larry Borum, friend of the program, is ready to play at 151. And then their day 3 picks, Khalil Herbert, a guy who had a great Senior Bowl, pass protector, huge viral
friend of the program
guy.
Too. Let us go viral.
Let us go viral for blocking tough Borland. I love Khalil Herbert. Daz Newsome at 221 is a joke. I don't know how that happened. Thomas Graham at 228 is a great pick. Kyrie's Tonga at 250. Charles Snowden, who was one of my highest players not drafted as a UDFA. I mean, this is a slam dunk A+. This is the best draft in the league to me. So congratulations, Pace and Nagy. I don't know what else to tell you. Good job.
Yes, PJ and I agreeing on something. Best draft in the whole NFL. Moving on from the Bears, who were first, to the Lions, who were third, in my opinion. A nice B+, third best draft, and they got a B+.
A lot of
Shout out
kneecaps.
Nick. We're
both
stingy.
A lot of kneecap eating. A lot of trench digging.
They did it right, though.
They did it right.
They did it. Penny Sewell at 7 is awesome. Levi Nick saying we pronounced it wrong. I'm never saying his last name ever again. The interior defensive lineman from Washington at 41, I thought was very nice value. Alim McNeil at 72 is about where I thought he'd go. Ifatu Malafanu, who I was the lowest on, I think, of the 4 of us, but I still had him higher than 101, is great value. Monroe St. Brown, who was in the low 50s, high 60s. High 50s, low 60s, I think. I think I had that reversed. At 112 is also great. And then Derek Barnes and Jamar Jefferson, are fine. So B+. I thought they had a really good, solid job. Penny Sewell at 7 to me is just awesome.
Yeah, I like Detroit did too. Green Bay, on the other hand, we're just back to the drawing board here, talking about another Green Bay draft. This one more of a roller coaster.
Having a normal one.
Having a normal one.
Having a normal one.
This is low key just a roller coaster too. Eric Stokes is a fine pick to open up the first round. I liked him kind of there as maybe a guy who goes late first. I think he's definitely upgrade over Kevin King. They need corner help, so that pick was fine to me. They could have gone other positions, but it was okay. Then Josh Myers, and I'm sorry, Tate, it's time for some slander on one of your Ohio State guys.
I had him as one of the bad picks in the day 2 recap. He was one of my bad picks.
Well, there you go. See, so the slander stands. Josh Myers.
All comments, not a guy the comments that I'm a homer. I don't want it. Get it out. I don't want to see it anymore.
All right, no homer comments. Only for PJ in the last video we did. Josh Myers. Just Creed Humphrey was on the board. They needed a center. You should not have forced center in the second round. It's a bunch of reasons why I did not like that pick. Then they trade up for Amari Rodgers and actually get a receiver. So that was kind of cool. Finally did it. Here's a guy I think that they will use well in this offense. We talked about how much we like the fits of kind of like the Kadarius Tonys, Rondales, Elijah Moores in this offense. Well, Amari Rodgers is kind of like the light version of that. So that's cool. Royce Newman in the fourth round, not a guy I had as a draftable prospect, and they took him in the fourth round, which in my opinion is still a round where you should be getting high quality potential starters, and they just didn't there. But then I loved Darryl Slayton. I liked Shamar Jean-Charles in the fifth. Both of that were good value picks. And then Cole Van Lannon, fine developmental tackle, Isaiah McDovey, linebacker who can tackle people, whatever. But just those early picks are just kind of up and down, so I got a C+ on them. And 24th best draft. Missed some opportunities to make better picks than they did.
So I'm going to finish off with the Vikings for the NFC North. I'm going to give them also a C+ here. So the Christian Darrisaw thing, they were at 14, and we're all saying during live draft show, like, Darrisaw could be a really good pick here at 14. And they traded back all the way to 23. And we're like, okay, we'll see who they can get at 23. And Darrisaw fell to 23, and they still got him. So trading back from 14, still getting your guy at 23, awesome pick. It's what they did after that was a little head-scratching. So I like the Wyatt Davis pick at 86. We took Kellen Mond at 66, a little high for me. Chaz Surratt at 78, a little high for me too. Patrick Jones at 90, didn't love that either. Kenny Nwangwu, who I wrote about, the running back from Iowa State, the most athletic running back in the draft, but didn't really see much time behind Breece Hall, so taking him in the fourth round is pretty high for that. Cam Bynum at 125, I like. Janarius Robinson's fine. Amir Smith-Marset was fine. Zach Davidson fine. And Jalen Twyman was fine too. So it was just a lot of weird. Day 2 especially, I didn't love for the Kellen Mond and Chaz Surratt picks, and then Patrick Jones too.
You're forgetting the best player they got was Tough Borland, UDFA.
Tough Borland. Yeah, put in the dirt. So I can't wait. Oh, Bears against Vikings too.
Khalil Herbert versus Tough Borland again.
There we go. Twice a year. Twice a year we're getting it. I love it. We can get more viral clips on Brewer Bus Twitter for that. But yeah, so it was an up and down draft. Love the Darrisaw. Like, that was an A+ for me, but after that it just kind of got a little hazy for the Vikings. So let's go over to the NFC South now with the defending Super Bowl champ Buccaneers. PJ, what do you got for them?
So it's hard to be mad at anything they did, because the defending Super Bowl champions are the best team in football, and they returned 22 starters. They didn't lose anybody. So it's like, okay, you're just drafting for depth across the board here, which is like, it is what it is. So Joe Tryon at 32, if anybody, I said it on the live stream, if anybody is getting whatever possible out of Joe Tryon, it's Todd Bowles. So I actually, like, I was the high man on him. I had him in the 70s. The rest of you were way lower. But 32, definitely an over pick to me, but I like him in that scheme. Kyle Trask, fine, whatever, development behind Tom Brady, Bruce Arians, Byron Leftwich. Byron Leftwich drafted himself, essentially, so that's, like, pretty cool. Robert Hainsey, a guy that's versatile across that offensive line, just can back up every position. Jalen Darden, one of my favorite picks of the draft, just another weapon for that stable of all these tight ends and wide receivers. I don't know how many snaps he's going to get. He'll probably return punts, which will work out great, but that is just another home run hitter for Tom Brady. KJ Britt is a very good linebacker, so I'm giving him a B. I can't find a lot of fault in any of these picks because they didn't necessarily need anything. They set themselves up with the quarterback of the future. Jalen Darden's a weapon. Robert Hainsey is a good, versatile player. And Joe Tryon, he is what he is, whatever Todd Bowles gets out of him. So I'm giving it a B. No good, no bad.
Yeah, I've got the Falcons now, who are 25th overall, in my opinion. They got a B-. Their day 3 picks were just kind of whatever. We don't really need to spend much time on them.
I don't know if Atlanta knows that they need defense, is what I think.
Yeah.
It comes down to.
So they go out Kyle Pitts at 4, which is like, okay, he's Kyle Pitts. He's going to be sick in the NFL. Like yes, I can't really hate it, but at the same time, it's like they need defense. So that was just kind of a weird one I have conflicted feelings on. Richie Grant at 40, totally cool. Fine with that. Nice pick. I think it's outside of Kyle Pitts, the highest graded pick I have for them. Jalen Mayfield, I don't know, kind of a development young guy, a lot of upside there, but also might not work out. This is a team that still needs defense, and their third pick is 2 of their first 3 picks are on the offensive side of the football. Just weird. And then all their day 3 picks make up a majority of their draft class, and I don't know, they're all fine. They're all nice depth pieces. Taquan Graham, maybe my favorite. I like another offensive side of the ball. Like I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this draft class. They're 25th overall, like I said, with a B minus. So I don't know. It's remained to be seen for the Falcons draft class.
So the Panthers, I think, had a pretty popular draft class, and I agree with that. I have them as my 9th best. Only a B minus. We're stingy, but in my mind, the B minus is above average, and probably improved your roster by close to a game in terms of wins above replacement. We'll see. J.C. Horn was the first pick, and to be honest with you, not my favorite pick that they made. I thought it was a bit of a reach on him. Their team didn't run a lot of man last year. They're probably going to have to move towards that for him. I had Surtain as the higher corner on the board. I also thought that this team should have been a team that should have been looking at Justin Fields, and they didn't. So that pick was whatever. But then they traded back twice in the second round. I always loved that. Took Terrace Marshall Jr. reportedly today. New Orleans was the next team picking. They would have taken him if the Panthers didn't, so they just stole the receiver right out of New Orleans' hands. They needed a third guy so he can play slot. That's good. Back with Joe Brady. Take Brady Christensen, get a tackle, upgrade that O-line. Good value there. Tommy Tremble, good value there. I liked him as a tight end in the third round. Chuba Hubbard was kind of weird. I know it's a change up from Christian McCaffrey, but 4th round was a little early for me for him. He's just kind of an athlete. He's really not super special, I think, in terms of running back instincts at this point in his career, but we'll see with him. Davion Nixon, Heath Taylor, to me, were great value in the 5th round as defensive picks. The guys I would have taken earlier than they went. Deontay Brown, Shi Smith, fine depth pieces for the offense. Then they took a long snapper and Phil Hoskins, whatever, but B minus, above average draft, like what they did.
So I got the Saints. I'm going to give them a C. They kind of had a weird draft. So the Peyton Turner pick at 28, didn't love that. That was a little bit of a reach for me. Pete Werner at 60, a little bit of a reach. Then they got one of my favorite picks in the draft in Paulson Adebo at 76, who I had probably like a top 40 grade on him. And also, they run a lot of zone in New Orleans, and that fits Paulson Adebo to a T. So I love the fit of Paulson Adebo there. Then Ian Book in the 4th round. I didn't love that. Landon Young, the tackle from Kentucky. I like him a lot too. And their 7th round pick was Kawan Baker, the receiver from South Alabama. So really, I'm going to give him a C. And also, I wish they addressed receiver earlier in the draft.
Dude, they have the two best, I can't even talk, UDFAs, and you're giving them a C?
Yeah, I want to give them a C. I didn't know what they did in the actual draft.
Friend of the pod, Trill Williams.
Trill Williams, yes. Trill Williams and Nolan Cooney were great pickups for them. But, yeah, Trill Williams probably would have been their, 3rd highest rated player on my board for them? Or 2nd even? So that was a great UDFA pickup, but the actual draft, I think it was a C. I love the Adebo pick, but everything else was pretty meh or bad, in my opinion. Let's go over.
Can I ask the question to the comments? Is Ian Book worse than James Morgan, the FIU quarterback, Jets backup quarterback? This group here, these other 3 bozos on this podcast, they tried to tell me on draft day that Ian Book is worse than James Morgan. It doesn't make any sense.
What if they're both bad, Tate? What if they're both bad?
This question, commenters, is Ian Book worth a 3rd round pick? Because Tate Sigworth says yes.
Why not? Is Jameis legally cited quarterback, who I'm a fan of?
Is Joe Montana worth the 3rd overall pick?
Is Baker Mayfield worth the 3rd round pick?
QB wins. QB wins. Only stat that matters. QB wins. Ian Book's got a lot.
Let me know in the comments. Is Ian Book better than James Morgan?
Is Ian Book worth a 3rd round pick too? I'll raise you that question.
Also ask that question too.
NFC East now. Cowboys. Peach. What do you got?
Jerry.
Ben here.
Jerry having a normal one. Jerry. So Mike Morrison is fine. It's not what I would have done. You got a lot of holes in that roster. Linebacker is not necessarily one of them, but you were taking Micah Parsons hell or high water, so that's fine. Whatever. Great. He's a very good player if he figures out his off-the-field stuff. Cool. Kelvin Joseph. This is where we start to get a little weird. Kelvin Joseph with a lot of other corners on the board. Paulson Debo, one of them. If you know Bonner, one of them. Asante Samuel, one of them. But if you're looking predominantly bigger zone corners, which is the Dan Quinn, we'll get to that in a second. There were better options than Kelvin Joseph. So, okay, cool. Your top 2 picks are good players with a lot of character concerns, and I don't know. Kelvin Joseph might not be any good. We don't really know. Osa Odighizuwa, I love that. They needed an interior defensive lineman if that's where they're going to play him. I love him. He's good. Chauncey Golston is a good run defending edge, not much as a pass rusher. And then you get Nashawn Wright, who was the first player at 99 that I had no notes on and was wildly unprepared for. He's 6'4". Izzy Mukwamu, who was their 7th round pick, also 6'4". So they went for the big zone corners for the Dan Quinn scheme, not the ones I would have taken. They took Nashawn Wright over Ife Melifonwu again for some bizarre reason. And then Jabril Cox, they doubled down on linebackers. Their 2 best picks are linebackers. Jabril Cox fell to 115, a top 45 guy for me because of his shoulder surgery that he got in the offseason. So I guess if your best 2 picks work out, they're both linebackers, and we'll see how that works out. Simi Fehoko is a good player. That kind of at least saved them a little bit to me, but this is a C+ just because if Jabril Cox hits, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but you still doubled down on linebacker, which is just why.
Yeah, moving over to Philly, who I thought had a very nice draft, 6th highest overall, nice little B+. A lot of questions with their first 3 picks. Devontae Smith, obviously at 10, has the size concerns. Landon Dickerson at 37 has the injury concerns. And then Milton Williams, interior defensive lineman at 73, has, I guess, just consistency concerns. So he hasn't really just shown it over the long-term period of time. But if all 3 of those picks hit, they're all 3 studs. Devontae Smith, the Heisman winner, and Landon Dickerson, dominant at Alabama and Florida State, played every position on the offensive line. And then Williams at his flashes is the best interior defensive lineman in this entire class. And then the rest of the picks I thought were nice as well. Zach McPherson, Max's guy at 123. Kenneth Gainwell at 150 I thought was a very nice pick. Effectively a slot receiver, but is a running back at the same time. And then they just continued to fill out the roster. Jacoby Stevens would be the last pick I highlight at 224. Safety from LSU, who's pretty much just going to play linebacker and is going to be an awesome coverage linebacker at that. And that is certainly a role that they need to fill on that defense. So that was a great pick at 224.
Jamie Newman, under 164 and a half. I've often said this. UDFA, Philadelphia Eagle.
Yeah. And then Trey Grimes as well. Another UDFA
Jalen Hurts
pick
struggles,
as well.
man. Jamie Newman, come in.
Worth noting, they announced Milton Williams as an edge player. They might be trying him out on the edge there.
Oh, God.
Faster interior player. That could be frightening if they develop edge players well, too. That could be fun.
I'm interested.
We'll see what they do.
I didn't know this, but you have my attention
interest
now. Yeah.
Intriguing indeed. All right, Washington. So we had fun on day 1 with Jamin Davis just being upset, you know.
And here he is. He's 10 days out. He's talked himself into it. He's totally all in. He's ready.
It's a below average pick for me. You know, if there's a roster that's going to take this guy, it's this one. You got the coaching staff of 2 ex-NFL linebackers and Jack Del Rio and Ron Rivera, who just saw a big athletic linebacker and were like, yeah, that guy. So that's who they took. He's got good off-field. You know, they like that he's like from a military family. They say he's a good kid. So very Ron Rivera pick. And I'm more into it now than I was 10 days ago, but still not my favorite. But they recovered, and I gave them, like almost every team, a B-. Had them as my 13th favorite draft, so above average. Sam Cosmi could be your left tackle starter, a guy we all had his first round grades. And they got him late in the 2nd round. Benjamin St. Juste, a pick I liked for corner depth. I think a great developmental, long, big corner who could be something for them long term. Diami Brown had as an earlier 2nd round pick. Felt all of them, weighted them at 82. He legitimately is going to be potentially starting opposite of Terry McLaurin in this offense. John Bates, whatever, blocking tight end, replaces Jeremy Sprinkle. Derek Forrest, fine. They took a long snapper. All those picks were kind of weird. I like taking William Bradley King and Shaka Toney, get some athletic edge rusher developmental guys behind what you already have there. And Dax Milne was kind of cool at the end of the 7th round as well. But so some good picks, some kind of weird picks. B-, you know, it's a fine job. They did build the roster the right way, I think.
The long snapper's name is Cheeseman, though.
Yeah,
so it is a good pick. It is a good
that
pick.
Pick's an A+.
Go to the Giants. I'm gonna give him a B+. I kind of like what New York did. So Kadarius Toney at
Trader
20.
Dave, baby.
Yeah, Trader Dave, man.
Dave.
How about it? Trading down to 20, getting Kadarius Toney. I like that. Azeez Ojulari, who I had his edge 1. before we knew the injury stuff. So getting him at 50, we'll see what the injury stuff is. But man, if he's fine, that's a first round talent, top 20 talent in my opinion. So that's the needed edge, and Azeez Ojulari, in my opinion, was the best edge without injuries taken into account. Aaron Robinson is 71, a little bit of a reach for me, but I understand it, and it's a fine pick. Ellerson Smith, a very athletic edge rusher from Northern Iowa. Northern Iowa produces freaks, man. Him and Spencer Brown are two freak athletes. And then Gary Brightwell is fine, the running back from Arizona. For Darius Williams at 201, the corner from Oklahoma State. Look, he's the older brother of Greedy, but at the same time, like he was good this year. And I think at 201, 6th-round pick, that's pretty good value. So Giants overall love the first 2 picks of Kadarius Toney and Azeez Ojulari. Got a little weird on late day 2 and early day 3, and then Darius Williams is a nice way to cap it. So I'm gonna give him a solid B+. I think it was a solid draft for the Giants. Finishing off with the NFC West now. Peach, what do you got for the Cardinals?
Yeah, Nick's favorite draft class here. Zaven Collins at 16, the boy. I'm just really interested to see what they do with him, whether he's going to be playing linebacker, whether he's going to be playing edge. But Zaven Collins and Isaiah Simmons, man, that is a dangerous combo that are versatile players that can play at any number of positions, and those two can wreak havoc sideline to sideline. So I'm excited for that. Rondale at 49, baby. That's the one. A+, the only offensive player, or the only offensive skill position player, rather, that they took. They took Michael Bennett in the 7th round. But Rondale and Cliff, it sucks that Cliff is like a high school coach, because I don't know what he's going to do with Rondale, but I'm excited to see what happens before he probably gets fired. Yeah, just get Rondale the ball. Marco Wilson at 136, I actually thought was pretty appropriate value. That's another athletic long zone corner that I think has a lot of potential. Victor Dimukeje at 210 is a good player. Tay Gowan, a guy I wasn't particularly high on, but another good zone corner. And I love the James Wiggins pick at 243. I thought that another, senior leader, redshirt senior guy with injury history, but if he's healthy, that is another piece for that defense. So I'm going to give him a B+. I think the first 2 picks were great, right about good value on Rondale. 16, a little bit higher for Zaven, but they apparently love him. And I can't get over the thought of him and Isaiah Simmons playing linebacker next to each other. So I'm really into it, and I'm excited to see what they do.
All right. The second best draft in the NFC West, the San Francisco 49ers. You guys will talk about the Rams and the Seahawks atrocities in a second. Trey Lance at 3 was the correct pick if we're deciding between Mac Jones and Trey Lance. I would have preferred Justin Fields, but Trey Lance himself is no bum and will be awesome in that offense. Aaron Banks at 48. Max, you hate me, but it's a reach. I'm sorry, it's a reach. Trey Sermon at 88, who they traded up for.
They
correct?
traded up for.
In my mind.
Yes, that's the important note there.
Yeah, which I like Trey Sermon, but trading up for Trey Sermon at 88 overall, I am not sure about that one. Ambry Thomas. I mean, the rest of them were just kind of fine. I don't know. Jalen Moore, Dede Lenore, Talona Hufanga, who I don't really like. Elijah Mitchell. They all were like decent value, but none of them I think are game breakers. Maybe I'm a little lower on this class. I've got a B- on it, 21st overall. Maybe they're, 16th or 17th overall in reality. Maybe I'm lower on the Aaron Banks pick. Maybe it works out. But I don't know. It was just fine, even despite them taking Trey Lance.
How about the character development from Tate here, saying the Trey Lance pick at 3 is fine? If we go back to our early videos with Trey Lance, Tate was like, you take this guy in the first round, it's a garbage pick.
And when you put him next to Mac Jones, it's the lesser of the evil. I need to settle.
You put him with the best coaching staff in football, and we'll just see what happens.
Here, saying Trey Lance at 3 is a fine pick. All right, man.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, buddy.
I'm going to stop talking.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, Tate, on that draft being maybe outside the Trey Lance thing. I just imagine if they took Mac Jones, I think I'd be very upset about that draft.
Oh, yeah. This would be like an F or something.
Yeah.
God awful.
It'd be rough. Speaking of, so my worst graded draft, and I don't care. I'm going to throw out D's because you want to throw this back at me if I'm wrong? Fine, I was wrong, whatever. The Rams get a D. This draft was just, what are we doing? Tutu Atwell, 57, is 149 pounds. He's not even super fast either. He's a gadget receiver. You already have a lot of receivers. You could have upgraded other positions. Just a bad pick. Whatever. Ernest Jones is a chase and tackle linebacker at the end of the 3rd round. Just not the type of player you take at that point in the draft. There's no athletic upside there. He's just, fine. He tackles guys. The 4th round was maybe their best round because they took a bunch of meh picks. I mean, Bobby Brown, nose tackle, run stuffer. Okay, Robert Rochelle, very average at the Senior Bowl in my opinion, but he's got some nice size. Jacob Harris is interesting. There's some upside there. PJ loves him. It was a little early for me, but I can understand maybe wanting to get in on that guy. Then Ernest Jones, a fourth, not a guy I had as a draftable prospect. Jake Funk was fun in the seventh. Ben Skronik shouldn't have been drafted. And then Chris Garrett is just like Sean McVay saying that he knows that Concordia exists, and that's it, So just a D, whatever. Get out of here.
Yeah, so the Seahawks, only 3 picks for Seattle. So how about the NFC West?
Boy, were they fun.
They were fun. How about the NFC West at 56 and 57? So 56, Dwayne Eskridge, the receiver, going to Seattle, and 57, Tutu Atwell going to Los Angeles. 2 interesting receiver picks for the NFC West back-to-back there. Eskridge, this is a huge reach for me at 56. Look, Seattle's offense is probably going to make him look decent, but he's not even that fast. Like, he's fast, but he's not that fast. Like, we thought he was going to
we were talking like, oh, this guy is Henry Ruggs, except he's tall.
Yeah.
And then he runs like a 4.35, and it's like, what are we doing?
He's also retirement home age. He's also retirement home age.
And also, like, played cornerback. Yeah. For like half of his college
didn't run
career,
any routes besides go routes. Really, like this, I had him 111 and taking him at 56 was such a reach. Fourth round,
Syracuse though.
Yeah, did for Syracuse. Well, Syracuse secondary too, so maybe we'll say. Trey Brown at 4th round for the corner from Oklahoma. Didn't love it. Again, this is a guy I had 182, so this is another reach, but I understand you need a slot corner, and he brings that to you. You also need outside corners, though. I hate to break it to Seattle. And then 208, probably their only good pick was Stone Forsythe, the tackle from Florida.
It's a great pick.
At 208, I'm not as high as Stone Forsythe. There's a lot of people, some people even had him like day 2 or like early day 3. I had him later than that, but this is a fine pick. I had him like 175, so getting him at 208 is a decent value. But Seattle's 3 picks, man. You only have 3 picks in the draft, and Seattle is known as one of the worst drafting teams in the league, and in my opinion, it kind of stayed the same. So I want to give them a C- just because it was just a weird draft. I didn't like any of it, so sorry, Owen. That's it, though. We got all 32 draft grades. This is it. We're wrapping up 2021, man. What a fun draft.
Somebody in 2 weeks ask me where Caden Stearns went to college. I will not be able to tell you. That's it. Adios.
I will. I
was looking at all the teams that were drafting players, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that guy went there. Totally forgot about that. But yeah, we're done with 2021. We got a lot more stuff coming, though. Obviously, it's a pretty hectic time for at least 3 of us because we're graduating college. So probably only 1 video a week for the foreseeable future coming up soon. But we're going to start 2022 stuff soon. We really appreciate you guys staying with us this whole draft season because it's been a lot of fun covering for over a year now for this draft. So I have a lot of stuff planned. Stay with us. We're not going anywhere. Keep hitting the merch store to get our Boom or Bust merch. Follow the Twitter, follow the Instagram, follow TikTok at Boom or Bust Draft as well. And, of course, hit manscaped.com. Use the promo code Boom or Bust for 20% off and free shipping. So we'll be back. 2022 stuff coming up soon, which we're really, really excited about.
The Bone Dicks Discourse. Get excited, people. Get fired up because I know we are.
PJ Clark, Tate Sigworth, Nick Merriam. I'm Max Chadwick. Have a great night.